Ellie is our second child. As soon as she was born, it was pretty obvious that something was not right. She was having a really hard time breathing, so they admitted her to the NICU at the Alberta Children's Hospital. Basically, the bottom of her skull and utero did not form. The best way that it was explained to me is kind of like a shopping bag that was filled with fluid that was sitting in the top of her nose, and that made it really hard for her to breathe. So the plan was if we grew her, hopefully that blockage would stay the same size and she would grow bigger around it and be able to breathe. But that ended up not happening. The blockage was growing with her. I would say we were in the ICU for like a day or two before trach surgery was initially brought up. And so they just explained to us how the trach would help her. Basically, she would breathe from the first spot where she had an opening, which would be her trach. So she would no longer use her nose. She was 29 days old when she had surgery for her trach. They got me set up to hold her and they just like passed her to me basically. And it might just be me, but I think it was the first time that she smiled. Like she woke up and like looked at me and smiled. But I think it was the fact that she was finally able to just take a breath without struggling for the first time. Honestly, everything about having a child with a trach is scary. It takes over every aspect of your life. So the first one that I had a really hard time wrapping my brain around was that it had taken her voice away. Her cry was now silent. And then we also had to learn how to change her trach. KidSIM is a pediatric simulation program at ACH that's donor funded. Sam and I have zero medical knowledge, so it was an emotional roller coaster and they kind of just took us in.
As a simulation program, we train a wide variety of healthcare providers to prepare for pediatric emergencies and traumas. So our simulation mannequins look like real-life children. They can blink, they can breathe, you can insert tubes for breathing, and you can put in IV lines. And together with our computers and our simulation specialists, we can put on scenarios that seem very real to the learner. And these simulations have actually helped save lives. So one of the programs we have here at KidSIM is a family-centered care program based on kids who have tracheostomies. And caring for these tracheostomies can be quite complicated. And you can imagine that can be quite scary. So years ago, kids with these tracheostomies had to live in the hospital for quite a long time. So I think one of the best parts about our tracheostomy program is it gives the parents the skills and the confidence to take care of their kids at home and be where they need to be to thrive.
What I also really appreciated about KidSIM is that we didn't go in there to do Tracheostomy 101. Like we went in there to do Ellie 101 and everything was specialized and specific to Ellie. The trach was minute by minute care and we needed to know everything and we needed to be able to keep her safe and also do like emergency procedures and all of that stuff. And we would not have been able to learn any of that without KidSIM, which means that we would have never been able to take her home. She was 4.5 months when she came home. So Ellie had been home for about 10 months. We had this great day celebrating her first steps. When she went to bed like every other night, woke up the next morning and I was changing her diaper and I remember seeing her shake. At this point, I've seen a lot of things with Ellie, but I've never seen her shake. And so I called Sam into the room and I said, I want to go to the hospital. So Dr. J came in and confirmed that she did have meningitis. And so he quickly established that her mass in her brain was leaking and that gave the meningitis away into her brain. And so the surgery that we had planned for years down the road, he knew had to happen faster.
The surgery was hard. They talked about millimeters. Like they had millimeters of space for error.
It took them 2 surgeries, but they were able to remove her mass and stop her CSF leak. A couple months later, Ellie did get her trach removed.
It was just nice to see everybody that was invested in Ellie back in that room just as excited as we were to see this little girl get her trach removed, get her voice back.
Her personality was, we always knew that it was in there. She just didn't have a way of expressing it. And when she got that trach out, like we walked the ICU and she quickly realized that when she made noise, other people responded. And so she was like squealing away at the nurses and they were all just having the time of their lives. Ellie is 5 years old now. She is rambunctious, feisty, sassy, a chatterbox. Like, she literally does not stop talking from the moment she wakes up to the moment that she goes to sleep. Really, there's not even words to say thank you to the donors who are out there. The Alberta Children's Hospital not only saved her life, but they changed her life and gave her this beautiful life to live.